Hi, welcome guys. It's week 4 of the North American Online League. This is season 9. Today we have a bunch of 1Qs and 2Qs, so let's get started. One of the recent themes that we have talked about, brought up constantly in our review sessions has been to defend more aggressively than before. And this is the part of the game where the Go player struggles quite a lot. The main idea is when the opponent attacks us, when we have a group that's under danger, under threat, we we do everything we want to make sure that the group is as safe as possible, and that's a very unaggressive way of approaching the game, and that's a very defensive, and it doesn't put a lot of pressure on the opponent. So today we're going to be primarily focused on trying to defend in a more active manner. Okay, normal openings, very, very good. The one thing to remember is you want to get to a point where most of your opponents, they would say, man, this player so and so, he's a very aggressive player. I really don't like to be attacking his groups, things like that. We want to get to a point where our opponents say this about us. And specifically what they're saying is, wow, this guy has a weak group, but I hesitate to attack him. Yeah, so two primary ways to achieve this. One is to counterattack a lot, and two is to make gain something else while defending our groups relatively well. Okay, so given that, the most important thing with respect to attacking
I have a question
and
here.
defending, yeah,
Sorry.
go ahead.
Instead of taking a base on
Mm,
N17,
yeah, yeah.
would it be better to jump?
Yes, the question is, N17 looks like a very reasonable move, but maybe we would like to jump. So two ways of defending this one black stone. This is exactly our next topic. So great lead in here. So here, black is defending this one black stone. So the game is N17, and there is a rule of thumb with the 3-3 Josekis. With this kind of a Joseki, white could have a stone at Q15. It's all the same. The rule of thumb is you want to stay 3 spaces away. And the reason why it's 3 spaces is exactly because of this, the Hane and then the Tiger Mouse. Basically, black is going to have to Atari here. This is a very important move. However, after this means that white is going to have a stone at P18. So remember, originally it's 3 spaces away. We played 2 spaces away. And so with the P18, we became 1 space away. So this basically, normally 2 spaces away is totally fine. In this case, white has a center move here that is really making it one space away. So if you ask the AI will often point out this move to you guys, the M16 small knight's move. Looks a little weird. We're very familiar with the 2 space extension on the side. The 2 space extension we have learned is a great way to secure a base. This move looks a bit strange to us. However, just consider that the primary goals of this move is about the same. You are just slightly more, 3 spaces away from the white corner, and also you're sort of doing the jump out at the same time. This was the original suggestion. So this knight's move is one place where it's an AI recommended move, and it's one place where we can understand and take forward with us, take forward the ideas behind this move with us. So this one is a little, far enough away from white's sphere of influence, and it's doing the second job of getting running out as well. So, okay. So in the game, this happened. A ko has occurred. Okay. So here, so N17 turns out to be slightly close to white. And one way white can exploit this is to attack from the outside and then push black towards the white strengths. Something like this. And white is developing the other side, the left-hand side. Okay, so in the game, the direct ko has been played. This is likely good for black because once we capture this, we threaten to connect. So here is a great lead-in to our one of our primary good strategies for defending our groups well. And if we do this part well, we can, half of the time our opponents would one, at least think twice before attacking us, and two, they would attack us, but we would get a good result. And that is the primary thing that we want to do when we defend our groups is when we have a weak group, this kind of a move that threatens to survive, threatens to totally take care of our group becomes sente. So in this case, black is capturing the Q19 stone in sente. So very important, we want to grab these kinds of value-filled sentes. So this is very good. Now this has made black even weaker than before, but we have already got some compensation ahead of time. And then when we jump out now, we don't have to, we already gained a little bit of territory ahead of time. So this is good. Good job by black. So now, suppose black extends or places Hane extends back. You'll see that white's a very strong wall over here in the corner. You compare the white group and the black group, and you're like, okay, the two look, about as strong as each other. I suppose white attacks black on the other side. Black places Hane extends. Later, black peeps in sente, and all of a sudden, white is the one under attack. Black is totally safe. So so black did a very good job at getting value ahead of time in this spot. So very good fighting here. Secondly, the way to take care of our weak groups is you pick so remember, number one, take the value when you can. A lot of moves that would be gote small moves, when you're under attack, they become sente moves, and your opponent will often play a dame move in response to your move that takes territory. Needless to say, this puts even more pressure against the opponent to, do something to your attacked group. Okay, second major trick, second major rule of thumb: identify the relative weak area for your opponent, and then play with that group or play close to that group. In this case, white has more stones in the upper right corner than the upper left. However, white is relatively weaker on the upper right. So one recommendation that we have for you guys today: interact with this right-hand side group. If white wants to, seal you in, play this kinds of move, play this one, play this peep. The gist is you are interacting with the relatively weak part of your opponent, and the whole point is that you want white to play a move like P14, like O15, like this move. Some move that is very defensive, and this will alleviate all the pressure that you feel for your own group. So remember, get the value synthase, and two, try to move towards the weaker part of your opponent's surrounding groups. Okay, the top has gone to a low, so now black expands the bottom. Very reasonable move. Here, if you're looking for initiative, this invasion is a very good example of trying to keep initiative and then attack in a very, very timely and quick manner. So for example, if white were to connect over the top, we connect underneath, and then when white defends his floating group, we can keep surrounding on the right hand side. We surround probably a bit less, but remember we already destroyed white's side. Plus we made a few points on the side ourselves as black here. So very good recommendation here. And if some kind of a variation occurred where, say, black has thickness here and white has taken care of white's group here, then we probably this jump move we can play more aggressively, and two, because we already became strong there, we can play elsewhere where we are weaker, where one of our moves is more sorely needed. So try to maintain synthase. This is a great way to a great way to get another move, another free move somewhere. Okay, all right, so white in this game initiates the attack first. So just like how, if black attacks first, there's some advantage. White is attacking first and black is responding here, no problem. Again, would like to see black interact with the white group over here a little bit more. Okay, yes, so instead of trying to break out to the relatively strong side, even though it's more open, try to break into the relatively weak side. If anything, say we extend and white pushes here, we block, white plays another move here. Here we can Atari, he can't connect. He plays here, and then we play another move or another jump. And here we see that white is defending the white areas, and black is now defending an area that's even bigger than white. So interact with the weaker side is very, very good. So conversely, when we are attacking as white here, we want to do, take note of the same thing. Your opponent wants to interact with your weaknesses. Therefore, attacking from your weakness or attacking by making your weakness stronger is very much preferred. So something like this move looks slow, but it's a very good move. This peep, very, very good move. This way, white is comfortable and black is not comfortable. So in the game, white is doing the ultimate commit. White is really surrounding black. This is very risky, and it was against what we recommended for the attacking strategy, right? And here you can connect that with our defensive strategy, interacting with the weak part of the opponent's surrounding stones. And you see why this sort of throws the net over the opponent directly is usually does not have a good result, and we do not recommend it. And that is, it forces your opponent to interact with the weakest part of the surrounding stones. So here, white has surrounded black, and so what can black do? Black has to, play against the white groups. And where is he going to play? He's going to play where white is weakest. So this way, you're forcing your opponent to do the right thing. And we see here this peep, very nice. And in this game, an exchange has been had. Otherwise, you can imagine white connecting, black making another push, making this connect out, and black is the one having some territory here. and white is the one having no territory and some cuts on the outside as weakness. So um, yeah, and so in this game, very hard fighting has occurred. White is split into two, and then uh, black just has one group. And here we see why we sort of see how this situation is turning into black's favor. For example, now it's not clear how white is going to live on the top, and then if black plays on the right hand side, it's not clear how white is going to be defend all of the white pieces at this time. So we see what is happening now, and beforehand we can go back and say, oh, this is why this sort of thing happens, and it absolutely happens all the time. And as black, as the defending player, if you get really good at this kind of fighting, the defensive fighting, you can see that your opponent is going to really think twice before committing to an attack against your groups. And you have done, you have become a very fearsome opponent. Um, you know, yeah, Okay, so good job by black in this local area, in this local fight. And after this, white is unable to find anything, that looks very, very good. So at the end of this, white commits to attacking black, but loses half of the outside group as a result. Big success for black. This move could potentially capture more, but this is already a very good result for black, as we all can tell. Okay. Um, okay. Okay, more moves have been played, and here we see that black is going into the defensive a little. Not sure if you guys can feel this. I have played many games, so I have a knack for what the players are feeling at any time. So here for black, it's very black. It feels to me like black wants the game to end as quickly as possible, and the way we want to do that is we want to play settling fights. Um, so settling fights are fights like this. You play where the potential territories are. For example, something like this. For example, and then white captures a stone, black gets some side territory, and then when white plays the cut, we can play these moves, no problem. When white plays the squeeze, we say, sure, that's just some territory. I took some territory as well. So settling fights are a very good tool for us to use when we are ahead, when we want to reduce the situation, and when we are weaker. So settling fights, invade somewhere, try to give up a stone or two, settle the area, make the opponent's potential territory into solid territory, and also make your own potential into solid territory, and then we're good. The alternative to this is to play this kind of non-settling fights where you are invading and you're keeping the rest of the board very, very open. Another type of settling fight is to settle on the right-hand side. In this case, we are attacking. Attacking and looking to fix the shapes. So after several defensive moves by black, I'm very surprised to see this move. This is very, very offensive. Um, um, After the previous moves, we would have expected black to connect on the top and then play this way. Now, I can understand if black just connects on top, white not only takes away black's territory, but white also surrounds territory for white. So I can see why this black does not want to play this. So in here, there is another potentially good move to see, and that is this kind of a move. So this kind of a response is when the opponent is invading, and instead of trying to attack it directly, we are just defending our weakest stone. Same idea as the previous time when white was recommended to defend the weakest part of the group. Here, black is doing the same thing, defending the weakest part of the surrounding black stones, that one star point stone. And then when white jumps out, we can keep defending this group. This group. If white wants to take away the territory, now we press on the top, and we are sort of we're making white commit to a much smaller life. This idea is very powerful when you are faced with a situation where going head on that may or may not be good. You know, it's always complicated. Don't know if don't want to do the head on fight, then we can take care of whatever is the weakest part of our surrounding stones. That's a perfectly good way to be attacking. Okay, in the game, black does something relatively similar, and then places shoulder hit. Very similar idea here. Good. Here there is a local Tetsuji to play this move. If white connects, we can get a big territory, and if white blocks, we can get a blocking Sentei, and this comes with it some ice space. Okay. Great time to Atari here, by the way. So in the game, white goes for the all-out attack against this black group. White is feeling probably a bit behind. And so here, this Atari is a prime example of a move that you want to get, but you can only get when you are relatively weak and under attack. As you can imagine, if white played here, you would play the Atari, white might play something bigger. Bigger than this connect, and so you won't be able to get an Atari in. But because white commits to attacking black, now threatening to capture this one stone is extremely big because it saves the black group, and therefore black is able to get this move in Sentei. So very good job by black here. And after getting this move, this variation will show exact one of the reasons to get it. Here, black still has this ko resource, and this ko is only possible if you already got that this Atari. So getting an Atari is helpful, and just imagine if you fought the ko like this, you win the ko once, and then white captures, you play this Atari. Now remember, normally white can just give up these three stones, but now white has to attack black, so can't let black take the three stones, so white has to play this connect. Therefore, look how blobbed up white is. All these white attacking moves have not surrounded any territory. Black just getting the speed 12 move is a lot of territory in the corner. For example, later on, black extends, white plays this cut, and black can survive in the corner. White plays in the corner, black can, destroy a lot of white territory. So this is a great way to defend. You take the senteis that are normally not senteis that help you gain value, and then, for example, this ko is another good example. Very good defensive fighting, and you could almost never you would never be able to squeeze white into this shape, but now you are. And then after you do this, keep playing these attachments, and if white just really wants to capture you, he's going to cut you off. But this is like the Shakespearean tragedy tragic play where white is going to try to attack you, but then in the attempt, he's going to have his own group be captured instead. So this is how you can sort of make yourself very nasty to attack, and you come attack me, but once you do, be prepared to play these blobbed up moves, and feel bad about yourself, and all of that. So these techniques are very good for making your own groups as thorny as possible, as hard to attack, and as unpalatable to attack, as undesirable to attack as possible. And just another side note to this strategy, when you're able to sacrifice some stones because you're under attack, um, do look for these sacrifices. For example, in the game, we showed a very, very good idea. Okay, so in the game, black connects, and noticeably, white is now having much, much more territory than white had with our diagrams. But the overall theme is remains. Okay, and that is black is gonna be okay and able to take care of the black group. This is a bit of a trick, but not too bad. So for white, this Atari will be okay. White is gonna win this by one liberty. This Atari probably also okay, but now white has to connect back over here. Um, the This is called. Um, I don't know if you guys have a official name for this. This is called the one-legged chicken by me, by Zichen Mike. One-legged chicken, best chicken. Okay, a great Tetsuji move by black here. A bit of a trick, but worked perfectly. So now now black has taken care of the black group while capturing 4 stones. So another tremendous success in this fight. And so here the balance of territory is likely breached, and black should. It looks like black was doing very well at the time. In the end, black only won by 1.5 points. But we can see that during this, the story of this, during the progression of this game, there were 2 very, very nice, successful defensive fights that black did, and where white kind of botched on the attack. So one is the beginning fight. Black captured 4 stones on his way to surviving. And later it was the left-hand side. Black also captured 4 stones on his way to surviving. So very good job fighting as black here. However, later on, some more stories have happened. Here, white was able to capture 4 stones, and white was able to capture some more stones in the middle here. So mistakes were made on both sides, but the generally speaking, this was a very good example of a very nice defensive fight, and we all want to develop this part of our Go skills, no matter what Go level we are. One, it helps us survive against opponent attacks. 2, if we make ourselves more difficult to attack or more unpalatable to attack, we make it much, much easier for us to play the game. One, we can take a lot more freedom to take territory, to take thickness, to take potential, and we don't have to spend as much time defending ourselves as as we often fall into the habit of doing. So it's terrifically good fighting by black in this game in the 2 defensive situations. Um, both situations ended with black surviving by capturing something of the outside. And the key to this, remember, is to take your senteis while you can and interact with the opponent's weak surrounding, relatively weak surrounding stones. So good example here. Um, and always remember, when you have this defensive fight, the sacrifices are very often very, very strong plays. For example, here, black extending down, sacrificing this 1 stone, and then making this kind of a shape very, very strong. When white pushes out, we can, it's generally about the same. And then when white cuts, now white all of a sudden white cannot escape. White Ataris now we can connect and fight this as a Ko or connect this as a Sente. Okay, be on the lookout for sacrifice strategies that take care of your group. Always try to get Sente and try to interact with your opponent's relative weak surrounding positions. All this is with the goal in mind of making ourselves as unpalatable to attack as possible. Um, um, yeah, this way not only do our opponents think twice before attacking us, but also we're just simply able to survive the attacks more. So getting stronger at defense, very valuable thing to have. Okay, and the first and the most important thing with defense is that you have to have a relatively active, proactive mindset. You don't want to just defend. You don't want to just make eyes. You want to interact with your opponent's weaknesses as much as possible. Okay, so same along the same veins here, the Joseki move is to press here. Why the Joseki move is pressing there instead of this Knight's move? The Knight's move is one space faster. That is all because the pressing move is up against Black's liberties here. So you have a follow-up Sente with the Hane, and so in effect you are expanding much faster even though your first initial move is slower because this move puts more pressure on black. Okay, good. Okay, normal Josekis. Okay, another push and peep. Okay, and here black chooses to invade. So from the previous game, remember how we want to defend, right? We want to defend by pushing, interacting with our opponent's relative weakness. Therefore, when we invade, we also want to steer towards the relatively weak side. In this case, clearly the white Panuki on the side is very strong, and white's corner is the relatively weak side with just 2 stones. Therefore, for black to invade on the bottom, you want to invade close to the weakness. So here, here, instead of here, right? Makes sense? And the reasoning is when the fighting occurs around the, for example, in the game, when the fighting occurs in this area, you want to be up against a relatively weak area. That way you have a good chance of accomplishing what we saw last game, capturing something on the way to live. If you are close to the opponent's thickness, you can't hope to capture it. So, so that's why you makes sense. That's why you steer towards the relatively weak side. Okay. So now is a good opportunity. So black not did not choose the weaker side to lean towards at first in the invasion, but now black has a very good opportunity to sort of turn that around and start to develop weak on the weak side. Here, black can capture this 1 stone in this exchange. If white captures the 1 black stone, press out and then allow white to capture, and then another jump out, and all of a sudden black is the one forming a surround against white's corner here. So this would be a big success for black, and this would leave white with a Panuki that is facing another very strong Panuki. This is over-concentrated thickness, and this is a very good opportunity for black to exercise this. Now remember, this does involve exchanging with our opponent. So this is one technique that, during the game, probably black was not thinking about exchanging. Black was simply thinking about defending. And here brings back the main point for today, defending our groups. We want to be proactive, look for exchanges, more aggressive. and not purely defensive. Um, Definitely not purely defensive because when we are simply defending, we run into this situation where we are just saving all of our stones, and saving our stones is not going to surround us much territory. It's not going to counterattack. It's not going to do any of the very, very powerful things that we talk about. So um, here, if Black did not have a very defensive mindset, I'm sure at least Black would have considered capturing this. And that would have been much better than the game, of course. Okay, so having a very defensive mindset um, can hurt us, even though it seems like we have done nothing unreasonable, right? And like, yeah, we all get it. We're weak, so we want to be as strong as possible, and the best way to do that is to defend. But realize the best way to defend is not to defend. Best way to defend is interacting with the opponent's weaknesses. Okay. All right. So this fight has come to a pause, and Black takes a very large left-hand side move. This move is a very good move by Black. Black is not playing the irregular move of extending up. Black is playing a very fast move. This is good. This is, White's corner is very, very strong. So if White plays another move here, all that's valuable for White here is the extra territory that it contains because White was already very strong anyway. Right. Good. So, all right. Black plays another Tanuki. Good, good, good. Okay, here, this is a reading issue. White's best move is to play here and then extend out. And this way you don't have to connect this one. You can play this Hane, fixing your shape in Sente. So in the game, White plays this move, but it is Gote. All right. So Black is expanding is playing very quickly, playing a very large game, quite good. However, here when we're trying to surround something big, it's very helpful to remember same idea. When we defend, we want to interact with our opponent's weakness. When we want to surround a big territory, exactly the same thing, interact with the opponent's weakness. So playing here, it looks very, very fine, but remember it is Gote, it is not interacting with the opponent's weakness, and therefore White is going to have the next move, and White can choose where to start the next fight. Jump into the middle, play this on the left-hand side, reducing the middle. We have allowed White to have the initiative here, but it was our move at first, right? So another thing we can do is to interact with the opponent's relative weakness. So if this move can be made in Sente, do it. If this Atari can be had in Sente, do it. And after you get this, you can play another press, you can play another press. All of these moves are in Sente. You can also, of course, play more aggressive moves like this one, where you are attacking that one other stone. You can also, with our moves, with our Sente moves here, we can now start attacking what was a very strong White group. Now it's no longer that strong. And if we're able to get this group to run and connect towards the upper side, reasonable moves, now we can see that we are forming this middle, this very big middle territory, and we have played, we've played, left side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 surrounding moves, all by through exchanges. That would be a much more efficient way to surround the middle territory. Okay. All right, so in the game, White attempts to break out here and is somewhat successful in terms of getting Black cut, and then more fighting results here. Very complicated fight. However, this looks like it will favor Black a little bit. Okay. All right. So when white plays here, black now has a um, this middle group captured, which is terrific. So how did black achieve such a good result? Again, um, same idea as before. Black is on the defensive right now, but because he's on the defensive, threatening to connect to his upper right group or threatening safety became Sente, it made white black, and that exposed weaknesses for white's shape. Um, again, so same ideas as before, interacting with the weaknesses. And when you're on the attacking side, you gotta be careful of your own weaknesses at the same time. So again, in this game, black has very successfully made black a very unpalatable player to attack, right? So that's big success in part of on black's part, big success. If these two players played again, White's gonna be thinking, "Wow, last time I attacked this guy, something very bad happened," and yeah, so okay, very good fighting by Black here. Okay. However, this was a little too much. This is a simple double Atari. This is a simple double Atari shape. Black probably had to do something else. Um, for one thing, if you are okay giving up the one stone there, try to move out faster. Two, move out faster like this, move out faster like this. And two, you might want to connect first. This will expose this cut, and then that would make your job of saving your group a little bit easier. For example, you've created a little bit of a weakness in white's shape. You can imagine eventually white captures here, and then black connects here, and both sides are safe. So this is another good way. So instead of defending the weak group, first I take a very large, a very large move right besides that weak group, creating some weaknesses in the opponent, and that would make our defensive job a lot easier. So this move, this Kosumi move, seems totally reasonable, but it's falling into the same too defensive of a move, and then once you are stuck purely defending, bad things usually happen. So um, be careful when you are defending your groups. Make sure you do not fall into the trap of being overly defensive or single-mindedly defensive. Do what we talked about today. Look for exchanges, look for sacrifices, look for the sentes, and then look for counter attacks. Okay. All right. So in the game, black is able to move out, so that's good. And this is a great example of a very good counterattack. So black threatens to move out, no problem. White is not losing anything, but because white is attacking, white decides that I have to cut. And so this is how the you know very reasonable. And now black has completed a surround against white, and this is very well done by black. And again, this is another case where black is able to be um, very difficult, not only difficult to attack, but also dangerous to attack. And that's something that we all want to be, and that's something that we can all work on as a player. So initially, black lost a lot of value with the Panuki, which resulted from black playing one purely too defensive of a defensive move. So something bad happened when you played too defensively, but right afterwards, black turned it around, played this as a sente move, threatening to live. Normally, this is not big, but white wants to capture black now, so white logically plays this. Then black breaks out, and white cuts, and then white is the one getting surrounded and captured. So very good job by black in this game. Um, this one, well, black can always just connect and it's all over. This should also be okay. You can also connect, you can Atari. Atari is also likely to work. Oh, uh, but, um, it's okay, but black has to exchange this move first, threatening to capture these two stones. And only after this can we capture this safely. In the game black just captured, white has this very nice Atari, and white plays it, and oh my god, black was doing so well, and um, wow, very it's very very complicated now. So good job by white. See if black had another potential thing. This probably will not work. So very good job by white here, winning this fight. Um, to steer us away from this kind of a situation. Remember, when we're attacking someone, we make our weaker stones stronger, and when the opponent is defending, he is playing and interacting with our weaker areas. So in this case, the no reading feeling for the game should be try to surround white from the weaker area. Where's the weaker area? The weaker area for black is clearly not this super Panuki where you've captured 8 stones there. Clearly not around there. So anywhere else would have been totally fine. This is why um, um, this kind of feel or this kind of intuition to add to your weaker area is what separates a lot of the stronger players from uh, and it's keeping a lot of us from improving very quickly. As you can see, this takes absolutely no time to um, to have this feeling, right? It takes no time, it takes no reading. Reading anything, if at all, is it might even hurt us from making this judgment. But um, right? So in the game, black defended the left side area, which is not this relative, it was already pretty strong, and white was able to start interacting with the one remaining weakness that might be possible by black, which is the bottom side with the with the shortages of liberties and so on. So needless to say, at any point here, black could have defended the relatively weaker area, including right now. Um, Atari here, extend here. Both of these will be okay. Um, yeah, this will be totally fine. Atari will lead to a code, but this code is also fine because we can capture the middle stones via unable to connect. So at any time, um, a strong player could have taken absolutely no time to read, no thinking whatsoever, and they can play in the right direction. If you guys are interested, this is exactly what professionals do when they play simul games. For example, at the US Go Congress, when you sign up for simultaneous games with pros, this is how the professionals are thinking when they play with you. They are not reading much. They are not, um, doing too much evaluation and stuff. They're just saying, oh, this left hand side, left upper side is extremely strong. When white tries to live here, I just have to make my relatively weak area a little bit better, and then I'm all set. And so they would take no time. You played on the inside. The professional player would take no time, and he would just connect. And he doesn't. He absolutely does not. He goes on to the other games in the simul. So if we can gain the same kind of intuition when we're fighting, um, it would make us, make our games a lot easier to play and make our play a lot stronger as well. Black is winning this game by a lot, but after this, it's hard to say. I certainly can't tell who's winning at this point. This local area is a Seki, and then this right-hand side is dead. And look at this, a black resigned at this point. Yep. Okay. Very good fighting by black. So all this game until last the last fight. So very interesting. Takeaways from our game: making yourself a thorny defensive, strong defensive player is very very desirable. And you can accomplish this by some of our theory, some practice, and following a lot of the main ideas. Main idea: when you're under attack, a lot of your moves become sente. Make sure you get as much value out of being weak as possible. So in this game, for example, this Hane, great get by black. Black gets a little bit of a better shape, more liberties, and so on. Get your value by taking the sentes while you're under attack, because otherwise you will not be weak, and when you're not weak, those moves are not sente. Take a lot of value through sente moves that are otherwise not sente. Interact with your opponent's weaker surrounding stones. One, you force your opponent to defend, and that gives you time to defend yourself. And two, if your opponent doesn't defend well, you can capture something on your way to surviving, and that's the best survive. The best survival is, actually winning the fight. Okay, and thirdly, when you're on the flip side of this, just make sure you're acting, in accordance to the, relative thickness, the efficiency. Don't be redundant. There are 5 different rules for us to get to doing the right thing in this kind of a situation. Take any of them. Take less time to think. Take less time to think. Just develop this feeling. Fix the weaker part, fix the weak part of the surround, and then you're totally fine. Absolutely, you don't have to turn your brain on when you're doing this kind of analysis. All right. Okay. We have one more game. Let's go take a look. Let's see if either of these two players have done a good or bad job in what we've talked about today. Okay. Josekis, okay. Needless to say, our ideas today perfectly applies to the Josekis as well. Josekis are basically all about taking care of your problem groups in as efficient a way as possible. So white playing here, so on. Okay. Good. Perfectly reasonable. And okay, another press, a very good Tanuki by black right here. Black is very strong in both corners now, so it makes no sense to surround this side. Okay, and white does not try to take away the side. That's very good. Here, that's some good recommendations. Attach, play the extend. Both would be sente ways of making sure that black is totally strong, totally safe. Okay, in the game, black reduces and then takes out a group. Okay. All right. Okay, and here again, remember taking care of your group. Make sure that you try to interact with opponents' weaknesses. Do not play purely for defense. So here, make sure you play this Hane when white cuts. Give up this one stone so that afterwards, you can have a very nice surround, and you can blob up the opponent, and then you'll be totally fine as black. Again, because we're in the defensive here, it's very easy for us to fall into the mindset of I'm on defense here. I have to take care of my group. Therefore, I have to defend my cards. I have to play this move, and so on. It's counterintuitive to play this Hane, give up an extra stone, and then sacrifice it, and then do this wraparound from there. It's counterintuitive to do that, but that makes it very very powerful to play. Um, it's a very very powerful way of playing. Um, yeah, a lot of times it's the mindset. We're all strong enough to come up with various good moves. It's a lot of times it's this defensive. I have to stay away from my opponent kind of emotion that is preventing us from discovering the good moves all the time. Okay, okay. All right, so here white starts the attack, and let's see if either of the two players play well here. Here, a very good job by black. This is a very good move. It's preserving it's connecting, and it's also threatening to connect white, and very good Tetsuji moves by black. And so here we can see um, a failure of attack again. It's almost always the same. Almost always the same pattern. You attack, you surround, and then you're not able to keep your attacking stones strong enough. And then the breakout happens, and then we lose stones during the attack. So very good, happy to see all three games had this example of the attack going wrong, and so that illustrates again how why it is very important for us um, to when we're attacking to keep to make the weak part of our surrounding stones stronger and strengthen the parts that will come under counterattack. Okay, so this is another great spot to see this in action. Black is under attack here on the top, but whereas normally white might play this move and then give up this one corner stone, right now white wants to attack black, therefore white doesn't want to give up any stones. And so as a result, when black pushes out, now white is going to be again under counterattack by black. And here we see the exact same pattern emerge. It's not an accident, and white was not strong enough on the outside, but white wanted to contain black anyway. And as a result, white's outside came under counterattack, and when black played this move, white resigned. Clearly, white has many less liberties than black does, and black has more ice space as well. So another fine example of this. In this game, black was a very very good, difficult to attack player. So taking away from today, guys, try to get stronger at defending. And by getting stronger at defending, we definitely do not mean make ice or make shape or anything like that. By getting stronger at defending, we mean we get the sentence that we don't usually get. Notice how on the top here, black is able to blob up another white position. Um, um, none of these would be sentence if white was not attacking black. So get the sentence, get the value, and look for the counterattack. Try to interact with your opponent's weakest stones. One, it's the easiest method to make ice space for yourself because you get your opponent to defend his weakness, and then you get to move to defend your weaknesses or make your ice or whatever. And if your opponent doesn't do that well enough, you can cut your opponents off, and then you can, do what Black did in this game, counter capture against the surrounding white group. Um, yeah, so work focus for today. Work on being as thorny, as difficult to attack, as unpalatable to attack, as difficult to bully as you can, and that way you'll have a lot more fun in your games that go, and um, it's also more exciting this way. So hopefully this way your games are also more interesting to play. All right, thank you guys for watching. Good luck to all the players for the next round, and sign up for the North American Online League. It's great. See you guys next time.